Oi, Soko no Kimi.
Yeah?
Are you visiting Japan but have a low budget?
Yeah, actually, yeah.
How much money do you have?
Oh. Not that much.
Worry no more, because with the Kanai Event Tokyo Handbook, you will never ever have to ever struggle for budgeting in Japan ever again.
I can pass as a guru now.
Said no one ever. You can now eat cheaply in sushi restaurant, beef bowls, and even soba with tempura sets that will soothe your soul.
Really? No!
Hey everyone, Kanai Event Tokyo here. So I've been thinking about statistics lately. You know, a lot of math involved because I'm Asian. And I noticed that tourism in Japan is actually on a rise, but so is food cost in here. And I know that there are a lot of low budget travelers here in Japan, so if you're a low budget traveler or a stingy traveler in general, keep watching because I'm going to blow your brains out. And with that being said, I would like to introduce you guys to the cheap food options here in Japan. So first things first, it has to be accessible in all of Japan, and if not in all of Japan, in the major prefectures in Japan, and it has to taste good but not break your bank at the same time. And the lastly is it has to be as Japanese as possible because I know you value your time and I value your time as well. So without further ado, let's start. So of course, to start off with everyone's favorite, sushi. Now I know there are a lot of cheap sushi options out there, especially with the sushi craze that's been going around lately. The sushi scene has been very competitive. Most conveyor belt sushis in Japan are very foreigner friendly these days compared to I was experiencing here like ages ago. Conveyor belt sushi has come a long way. So most conveyor belt sushi restaurants these days are very automated, to the point where you don't even need to talk to anyone. I mean, of course your friends if you have friends, I guess. But if you want to get to experience the heartwarming or soul-stirring sushi restaurant, I'll definitely recommend you guys to go to the old-fashioned sushi restaurant because there is nothing like talking to the sushi experts about the fish they serve, or even Japan culture in general. So I'll definitely list down some of my recommendations down below, so definitely have a look at it. So for those of you guys who are not much fans of sushi, and I know there are a lot of you guys out there who can't eat raw food, there are also options for you as well, such as soba and udon. And I put this in a separate category as fast foods in Japan, which I'll get into later. It's because soba and udon has a special place in my heart. I mean, not only in my heart, but also in Japanese heart in general. But I'm Japanese, so my heart, Japanese heart, redundant. Not to be mistaken by yakisoba and other noodle shenanigans, soba is the Japanese name for buckwheat. And yes, it is healthy for you, less carbs than the udon actually. And lastly, it is gluten-free for those of you guys who are worried about that kind of stuff. I'll put some respect on your name.
Put some respect on my name. When y'all saying my name, put some respect on it.
Now, udon is also a very healthy option actually. They are very easy to digest. It helps with weight loss due to udon being made with whole wheat. So if you're going to have a long day ahead, udon is a good way to start your day and be healthy at the same time, I guess. Oh, did I already say that?
Yeah, you dumbass.
Oh, okay. Next. Now let's go to arguably the crowd favorite, especially basing through the street food in Japan video views. So if you're wanting to save a little bit more money, which I would totally do because I'm Asian, you can always go to street food around Japan. And street food, wow, did I just spit on my screen? Oh damn. You can always go to street food around Japan, and you actually have a lot of options considering that street food is very accessible here in Japan and it is cheap, or relatively cheap at least. And not to mention, since you're always on the go, a few places to go in Tokyo for street food is in Shibuya. They have a small but intimate alley over there for small bars and good alcohol, and same goes to Omoide Yokocho in Shinjuku, or better known as Piss Alley. And lastly, there's also street food in Asakusa, which I made a video on, and I think also my friend Angela made a video about that. So definitely check it in the links below if you want more on that. Of course, let's not forget the mother of all time savers, fast food. Fast foods in Japan do not tend to work like fast food in other countries due to Japan's very strict health guidelines. So it's not really as low quality as, let's say, in the US or whatnot.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
Examples of fast food would be Matsuya, Sukiya, or Yoshinoya, which are all great options if you just want a quick beef bowl. And in fact, they also have other options as well, which are very Japanese, cheap, and fast, such as the unagi-don that Sukiya has. If you want to spice things up a notch, you have options for that as well, such as Curry House and Go-Go Curry, which gorillas tend to love, obviously. Now, I personally have not been to the Curry House, but Go-Go Curry is the freaking bomb. They also have the instant version of Go-Go Curry, so if you want to get some curry to bring home for yourself, you can. Or you can just order it from Amazon.
I wish I had affiliated links.
Now, the last one in this list is probably my most favorite in the bunch is convenience stores. It is literally the only convenience store in the whole wide world that's actually convenient. It is a great balance of price and convenience, and not to mention convenience stores in Japan are no slouch and actually provide you with fresh food. I totally love the onigiri and their tastes. My favorite is actually the mentaiko or the polakro, which I have not eaten before I came to Japan, and also their alcohol selection, impeccable. And if you're one of those people, get lit. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any other suggestions, tips, or guides that you want to share, definitely leave them in the comment section down below, as I'll be reading them. I mean, the viewers will also be reading them. And it's been nice, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!